Super quick question here. How many tabs do you have open right now? If you're like me, it's a lot. And if you're running a business, it's a lot more. And with all those tabs, you're spending more time searching through data and less time, growing your business. But HubSpot's customer platform brings all your tools into a single powerful place that your teams can use together. So close those tabs. It's business growing time. Visit HubSpot.com to get started today.
I'm Jon Weigell, and we are live here for the Hustle Daily Show. Today, we are with Ben Berkley yet again, Noelle Medina for the first time this weekend. Hello Noelle.
Hi.
We're going to bring you some news, and then we're going to talk about Mega Drive Thrus today, these 4-lane gargantuan monsters that Noelle did a video on. So we're going to talk about all that in a little bit, but let's get to the hits and headlines in business and tech today. First up, Nike just ousted its CEO, John Donahoe, and are bringing back a longtime executive, Elliot Hill, out of retirement, actually, so that he can usurp the role of CEO. They're looking to use this as a time to revitalize the company amid a lot of problems they're having, mostly in the selling shoes department.
Yeah, let's see what the new guy can do.
Yeah.
I think Elliot Hill is that new guy, as mentioned. He actually started at Nike as an intern.
You did?
No. He did.
I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I really ruined my career. This is a great backup plan, I guess. But Elliot Hill started as an intern at Nike. I think that's just always kind of the most satisfying trajectory for an executive. And you hope that kind of puts him in touch with every level of the company that he has ascended through. He's got a really tough job. Prior to this move, Nike's stock is down 25% for the year. I think Donohue kind of got a lot of flack for cutting out retail relationships. He's Macy's, we don't need you. Turns out, they kind of did.
Yeah. He gets into office of CEO on October 14th. So we'll see what happens with the end of the year. See if they can compete with brands like Hoka out there. Okay, next up. After the announcement of a multi-month delay to March, Apple Intelligence is now live in public beta. Originally, of course, this was announced alongside iOS 18, which is out right now. And I believe also iOS 18.1 is also out. That was fast. So if you are in Apple's beta program, you can get to play with a new toy. Hooray. But I am not. And I don't believe either of you are.
No, very much no. But I would mention we did talk a lot about Apple Intelligence on our podcast 2 days ago.
Yes.
So if you want to know more about that, just stop this episode.
Yeah.
You don't even have to come back. Just go to that. It was a great conversation.
Go down, scroll, and then,
and then go give it a shot.
Exactly. So from Apple, we go to Disney. Disney stated actually in a memo that they will officially stop using Slack at the company after a hack that leaked about 1 terabyte of company data, which, if that's all emails, that's a lot of emails.
Yeah.
So it was 19,000 spreadsheets, 44 million messages, 13,000 PDFs, none of which were the script for Frozen 3,
unfortunately,
which I was kind of hoping to give to my niece for a birthday gift. But it's also is that just an option to say, I'm done with Slack? It feels like I would take that off ramp so fast. Nothing siphons my productivity quite like a day of just Slack messages.
Yes.
Yeah.
But obviously this is not about the annoyance of Slack. This is about the safety of it.
Yes.
And one would have to assume that Slack they're going to make a big push on security features to assure all their other
big clients,
enterprise clients. If you're losing one like this, it's going to make you make some moves.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching for that.
It's a big deal.
I don't think Slack has commented on any of this.
I don't believe so.
Or Salesforce, I should say.
Not yet.
Parent company.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe Tinkerbell can just fly through the
That would be nice.
system and send messages and relay memos and
They're
such.
probably going to call their new system Tinkerbell now. I would be sure.
They absolutely should.
Right, they
I
should.
think that's great.
From Disney, we also go to Starbucks. Starbucks' new CEO, Brian Niccol, he's been in the news a lot lately. He said during his first staff address that he thinks that his employees can do work whatever they want in order to get work done, but he also thinks that the best place to get work done is in the office, which is interesting because he's also remote. He does take the private jet into Seattle every once in a while to do some work, and he's visiting Starbucks locations around the world for his job. But it's an interesting thing to throw out there. He didn't really say that he's initiating a return to office like Amazon has, but he definitely wants people to be there.
The direct quote that I really love was him saying, "We're all adults here." which is a huge assumption. I think that shows you someone who has spent too much time in C-suite meetings. Like the average employee, adults, like, are we adults?
No.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's also based in Southern California, so he's really just soaking up
You're
sun.
right by him.
He's my neighbor, so I'm not surprised that he is kind of hunkering down in SoCal, and then I guess
Getting
making
away from
everyone
the
else go out in the rain in Seattle and return to work, right?
Yeah, very good. From there, we go to Kraft Heinz. Heinz's Philadelphia cream cheese wants to make some bacon easier. They're putting cream cheese frosting on the shelves. So congratulations to everybody that's ever had to make cream cheese frosting.
Yeah.
I, for one, have never made it. Is it easy? Is it hard?
I don't know, but I kind of feel like, and I don't know if this is like the right time or place for religion, but like this feels like inarguable proof of God's existence, that there's cream cheese frosting on the shelves
available.
that you can just go and get at any time.
Yeah.
It's also wild that this didn't exist before. It feels like something that's like a very obvious win.
Yeah, I actually think it's funny that they say that they're trying to make baking easier, because I think the average consumer who goes and buys this product will just eat it by the spoonful. To your point, Ben, like I don't know that anyone's going to put this on any type of baking product. You know, it sounds like a good breakup.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
Food
the
to go
new
get.
cookie dough, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, way to innovate and keep pushing the boundaries.
Give the people what they
Kraft
want.
Heinz. Well done.
We're going to do a baking show next year at Inbound. Can't wait.
In bake. Great. Also, in food, our final snippet, Chipotle has finally done it. We've talked about this previously on the podcast, but avocado peeling robots are out now. They're being tested, and they're called Autocado. The company emphasized, though, that they will not replace human workers, which is definitely reassuring and true, I'm sure.
I want to see it. I mean, I've seen videos of it, but I want to see it in real life. Like this thing can cut, core, and peel an avocado in 26 seconds on average.
My question is, does this affect the price of guacamole?
It's actually crazy. Like you get a burrito and then you add the guac, and all of a sudden it's $15.
Does the robot get like a commission for the guac sales?
I don't know if they're unionized yet.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
It is notable, though, that this is now in a store. Still hasn't rolled out quite nationwide. At the same time, their augmented make line, which is their like automated bowl and salad maker robot. So they're just like rolling all the robots out.
All the bots.
And I think that one like puts all the rice and the lettuce, so it just puts it in a bowl. And I just hope it's programmed to short people on meat so that you still get that like authentic experience.
And to your point, Ben, I mean, you see the Chipotle workers making your food. So then in theory, you would see the robots, right? Working behind the scenes as you go through the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this has kind of been a lane that they've really stuck to, as they kind of want to be this technological innovator. Also Sweet Green, like a couple companies really want to change how this all works. It's interesting to see it going from theoretical to an actual restaurant. And I think we're like starting to get to that point. Right. And we'll see how feasible this actually is to scale. That's the kind of thing that I just don't know if it's actually going to work once you get down to it. What happens when your whole store is reliant on a robot and it breaks down? Is that the stores just close? Like there's so many just things I know they have answers to, but we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Sounds like a great opportunity to become a Chipotle mechanic.
There you go.
We talked a little bit about food and how the industry is changing. And Noelle, you're here today because you made a great video on Mega Drive Thrus. And it's a kind of this new concept where you have multiple lanes in a drive-thru, and a lot of fast food companies are doing it. Can you describe to me what a Mega Drive Thrus is?
Now I can, John. When I first started reporting this video, I was like, what is the Mega Drive Thru? Actually, the word was first sort of floated around during the pandemic to describe drive-thrus for COVID vaccine and tests. So we were calling those Mega Drive Thrus. And then sort of fast food adopted that terminology because they started adding more lanes to accommodate the heightened flow of customers during the pandemic. So that word really emerged during the pandemic. But what it means essentially is it's just a multi-lane drive-through. But I like to see it as like having 3 or 4 lanes versus just 2 lanes, because that's become kind of commonplace now.
Yeah, and kind of on that fact, I don't know if anybody's seen images of them, but if you look at this, like the one that they just built in Atlanta for Chick-fil-A is like this massive 2-story type of house that doesn't have a ground floor that cars just go through, right?
Right. Yeah. They actually drive through the building. I'm actually not totally aware of what's on that second floor. I think it might be the kitchen.
Could be.
But yeah, they can accommodate up to 75 cars at once.
Wow.
That 4-lane Mega Drive Thru in Atlanta that just recently opened, I think about a month ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what companies are really doing this? So we mentioned Chick-fil-A, but are there any others that are like getting into it?
Yeah, so Taco Bell in 2022, they unveiled their Mega Drive-Thru, which is also a 2-story, 4-lane drive-thru. Don't think it can accommodate quite as many cars, but they have, a lane for mobile orders, for delivery drivers, and then there's just your regular drive-thru, but every lane kind of has its individual, customer and purpose. So they're really doubling down on this. And then Burger King also announced that they were going to invest in tri-lane drive-thrus. I don't think that they've come out yet with anything. But yeah, there's quite a few companies that are really into it. I think because there's a perception there. If there's more lanes, then it looks like there's fewer people in the lanes,
Sure.
and that it's going to be shorter,
Right.
even though I think it really depends on the location, right? Chick-fil-A is so popular that regardless of how many lanes you have, sometimes it takes you like
Yeah.
20 minutes to get through the
There are
drive-thru.
lines in the Chick-fil-A drive-thrus.
Yeah, I mean, I think consumer behavior has really forced their hands here because we're at a point where drive-through traffic is up 30% basically from the pandemic on. It's like 2/3 of all fast food sales now are drive-through. Just like the architectural shift is going to continue to go even further in this direction. You would assume that that's where the trend lines are. And now it's like the thing that's really interesting is it's going to put so much pressure on like every millisecond. It is so critical for them in this. Like the rankings of the fastest, it's really close. Taco Bell is the winner, by the way. And actually, I think Carl's Jr. is second. Their CTO also after that said something basically like, oh, well, actually speed, it's important, but it's not like the thing. It's like, yeah, that's what second place would say. But this is something where you also, obviously, it's not just speed, it is accuracy. And like Taco Bell is number 1 for speed. They're 7 on accuracy.
Yeah, and Chick-fil-A gets really high marks for accuracy, efficiency, but they're the slowest drive-through because they have so many consumers in line at one time. The other thing, too, is ever since 2001, we've been clocking these drive-through times. So to your point, Ben, like it has become so important for these brands now to just keep getting faster and faster and add more lanes, to innovate more, to automate more so that they can get people through the lane quicker.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like we're kind of in a drive-through boom period, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
Since, of course, during the pandemic, I'm sure drive-through sales just catapulted through the roof pretty much. So now we're on the other side of it. Now these companies keep investing in it. And, I'm not a big drive-through guy myself. I like to park and go inside.
I'm not either. I always park and go inside.
Me too.
Especially in Southern California, which is actually like the fast food drive-through epicenter of the world.
You went to the first In-N-Out, right?
I went to the original, In-N-Out drive-through, which is now a museum. But it was so cute. It was so cute and small. Adorable. I still, though, in that situation, like if I could get out and talk to someone and get my food faster by going up to the counter, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'd do that every time.
Well, take that, Mega Drive Thru. Thanks, everybody, for listening today. That's going to do it for the Hustle Daily Show. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. If you like this podcast, you can check out our newsletter. That is at thehustle.co/email. Yes, and we'll see you later, everybody. Thank you so much for listening.
With access to so much information, it's hard to feel like an informed, discerning citizen. That's why Make Me Smart, a podcast from Marketplace, makes it easy for you to stay in the know. Each weekday, hosts Kai Risdal and Kimberly Adams unpack the latest from DC, explore the day's tech news, and they make sense of the economy. Because in a world that's constantly changing, we all need to stay smart. Listen to Make Me Smart wherever you get your podcasts. Attention to all founders, hustlers, and hardworking entrepreneurs. The Hustle's 2024 Entrepreneurship Trends Report is out now, and it's a goldmine of valuable strategies, data-driven insights, and expert tips for elevating your business. Have you ever wondered how successful business owners are staying ahead of the crowd in today's super competitive market? Well, we talked to over 500 small business owners to uncover how they're doing it and did a ton of research so you don't have to. We know you're busy building your business, so we got you covered. The Hustle's 2024 Entrepreneurship Trends Report is something you don't want to miss. This right here is the future of entrepreneurship. So stop what you're doing right now and check the link in the show notes to get that report right now.